Hey guys, at this point, you may or may not have realized that we're going to be changing the way we do PRs for this new season. In the past, PRs have been determined based upon bracket results from the shoreside events that we have every other week, um, in addition to any other out of state or out of town events that any of us attend. Uh, in the new season, we're going to steer away from that. We're actually going to be moving to a challenge style PR. This is similar to the system that they use in Chapel Hill. But essentially, the way it works is you challenge players who are currently PR'd, and if you beat them in those challenges, then you take their slot immediately. Um, so the PR is changing within the season. It doesn't take an entire season to update the PRs. Um, and sort of by the nature of that, the PR is going to be a lot more volatile. People are going to be um, changing their position a lot. People are going to be going from PR to not PR'd frequently. And the reason we're deciding to move to this system is we're hoping that it'll encourage a lot of players who may not have been so active uh, to become more active and learn matchups and practice more. Simply because at this point, with this system, being PR'd is obtainable for everyone. Um, and if you don't get PR'd, it doesn't matter because you can just you have the potential to be PR'd every day. You don't have to wait to another season to get PR'd. So with that being said, the main reason why I'm making this video is there's a lot of, well, there's not a lot, but there's some rules that go along with this, and it's really important that everybody is on the same page as far as all the rules go. So everybody needs to be following the same system. Um, so with that being said, the first sort of rule that goes along with this system is that you can only challenge one person a day, but you can challenge as many people as you want a day, if that makes sense. Basically, let's say I, Nimbus, want to challenge David. Um, I can do that, but after that set's over, I can't challenge him again until the next calendar day. But I can challenge all these players on the same day. So let's say it's Friday, I can challenge everyone, but I can only challenge each player once. So that prevents. Let's say I play David and I beat him, and that would mean I would take his spot on the PR. We would switch spots. That prevents him from challenging me immediately after and just taking the spot back. The reason we decided to do that, to sort of have a 1 day cooldown between challenges, is I think everyone would agree that if you're playing a set or you're playing a challenge where you know the earliest you're ever going to be able to re-challenge them is the next day, you're going to think about that set more than if you knew you could lose that set and immediately challenge them again without any consequence. Um, and I think that's an important thing. That they actually don't have that rule in the Chapel Hill version of this uh, system. They can challenge you immediately after a challenge is over. And the problem I have with that is, in my opinion, it ends up just being a bunch of friendlies that you're playing with somebody, and then the last friendly you play is the last one to win the friendly gets a spot on the PR. And like I said, if you beat someone in a challenge, you immediately get their spot. So if Jukes, who's currently slot 5 on the PR, beats David, he skips everyone on the PR, and he gets that first place spot, and David would be bumped down to 5th. In the same light, somebody who is not PR'd at all, if they beat a PR player, they take their spot immediately, and that previously PR player would no longer be PR'd at all. So you can see very quickly how volatile this system can be. And at first that seems kind of unsettling, just people going in and out of the PR, but actually that should be something that everybody enjoys, because everybody's going to have a chance to go back and forth with people and get on the PR, as long as they're learning matchups and improving as a player. Another rule is everybody, when I say challenge, I mean a best of 5 set. So everyone should be on the same page. If somebody says they beat someone in a challenge, or if somebody says that they challenge you, everyone should realize that means a best of 5 set. and it works just the same way as you would play a best of 5 in a bracket. Um, the like I said, the winner of the challenge will take their spot immediately.
We're going to the grocery store. Do you want anything?
And also you have to accept any challenge that you're given. You can't deny a challenge. That otherwise that would defeat the whole purpose of this style of PR. So, for example, David being the number 1 slot, he has no reason really to challenge anyone because he can't move up in the bracket or in the PR. But in that same sense, he's probably going to be challenged the most out of anyone because he has the most desirable spot. But we made the rule that you have to accept a challenge within a reasonable amount of time, and we purposely didn't really put a time on that because we just want people to be responsible. But if you get challenged by 3 people, you need to accept those challenges as soon as you're capable of. And obviously life gets in the way. Everybody has different amount of times that they're going to be able to dedicate to playing challenges. For example, anyone who is a UNCW student should be able to accept challenges that day, or at least within a week, because we all live so close to each other. People who work like Justin, he might not be able to accept challenges quite as quickly as a lot of other players because he works. But as long as you're accepting challenges within a reasonable amount of time, you're going to be fine. We sort of, like I said, we didn't want to put an exact time on it, but I think 2 weeks is a reasonable amount of time to say, all right, if you can't accept a challenge within 2 weeks, you're not going to be able to keep that spot. So if I'm PR number 2, like I am right now, and people are challenging me and I'm not able to respond to those challenges for 2 weeks or more, it's not going to be fair for me to hold that spot anymore because I'm not really an active player and I'm not giving anybody a fair shot at taking my spot. Now, the document that I have open right now is available for everybody. It's linked on the Wilmington Facebook page in one of the pinned posts right now. But this is actually pretty cool. This is how we're going to be keeping track of all the challenges that everyone's doing, and everyone has editing rights to this document. But if you challenge somebody, it's going to be the challenger's responsibility to log the challenge. So basically when a challenge happens, there's a challenger, there's a defender. And if you're the challenger, then you need to log the results of that challenge. And the key is written right here. If you follow the key, you'll be fine. All the results are going to be put down here. So as you can see, there's already been a fair amount of challenges that have taken place. But if you look at the key and follow the key, you can see very clearly what's happening. So here, Dov challenged Flair. Flair was defending on the 26th, and Dov won 3-2. And actually what we've been doing, which is kind of cool, is we've been trying to have people record their challenge sets. And I realize not everybody has access to a capture card, but a lot of people have just been recording on their phone, and it turns out pretty good. And what this does is it allows everyone in the community to follow along with challenges and players' progression. It gives the players that are involved in the challenge a way to look back on their matches, but it also gives other players a way to look and see how people have been improving or learning new matchups. So if you see here, the link to the set is right here. If I click on it, I see Dov and Flair's match, and they just recorded it on a phone here, but it looks perfectly fine. It's a really helpful tool for people to be able to look at their sets. So if you do end up challenging somebody, it encourages you to record it just on your phone, just like jury rig way to have it up. And you can email it to me, or you can upload it to Google Drive and then email me that link and I'll upload it to YouTube. Or if you want to just upload it to YouTube yourself, you can do that and just link it next to where you put the challenge. If you're challenging a PR player, which you should, because there's not really any reason for a non-PR player to challenge another non-PR player. But if you challenge a PR player and that PR player wins the challenge, you need to update their times that they defended their title, um, along with logging the actual challenge. So if I challenge David and David wins, I would log it here following the key, and then I would also change his defending title from 3 to 4. And that just gives everybody a way to see, okay, how many times are these players that are PR'd being challenged, and how many times are they effectively defending their title. So if I beat David, he would move down to number 2, and I would move up to number 4 or to number 1, and both of our titles would be set back to 0 because we haven't defended that position on the PR at all at that point. Hopefully I covered any questions you guys had. If anything, just comment on this post, and we'll all get back to you and explain how this works. I know it can be a lot to take on moving to this new system, but hopefully you all agree that having the system in place is going to help the community grow skill-wise and encourage players to play more and practice more and learn more matchups than the previous system was doing.